Hello everyone and welcome back to From Our Basement Gaming.
Hey everyone.
We are back with, it looks like... This is part 14. Yes. Part 14 of our Final Fantasy Let's Play, so... Yeah. So I just needed to make sure because I guess I wrote the wrong number and wrote over it because I used pen. So I'm like, okay, what number's the right one?
Gotcha.
It is 14 unless the thumbnail says otherwise. So just go with that.
Yep. Let's do some bolt action to those. Electrocute these fish. Yeah. We've been out and adventuring and trying to take care of some magic. Looks like we leveled up.
Yep. Cool.
Kind of work.
Just trying to figure out where the next area is, I guess.
Yes, but I have an idea where it is, though. I'm not completely unknown.
Right, I know you did research.
I did.
So yeah, for those of you who watched the Zelda video, I said I would talk about this thing here instead of the Zelda video.
Yes.
So, yeah, so on my Google feed, you know, they know I like Sonic the Hedgehog. Google does not know I don't like the Paramount movies, so it's been like giving me all the hype stuff about the third Sonic movie. I don't remember when that's coming out, but, you know, they like to slowly trickle some information. Apparently at some kind of convention they actually showed a trailer, but it's not available to the public yet, but the article... I'll be honest with you, I didn't read all of it, but I read some of the article that, you know, talked about what the trailer basically showed. The reason I didn't read all of it was I felt kind of mixed about what little I did read. The thing is, the third Sonic the Hedgehog movie is going to cover Sonic Adventure 2, because of course they need to have Shadow the Hedgehog in their third movie, because how else are we going to pander to the fans if we don't have Shadow the Hedgehog in any of our movie trilogy, right? Yeah, so, yes, I'm sorry, I do still assume the worst of Paramount. They are a corporation at the end of the day.
They are.
So, I don't know if I've said it on here, but I have said it to you, like in conversations with you about my problem. I might have said it before when talking about my problem with the movies, you know, both of the movies and their portrayal of Dr. Robotnik. You know, Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah.
But anyway, whether I said it to you guys or not, I already made it clear to Connor that, as odd as it might sound, I did have a problem with him being thin and not being overweight. Because all of the other portrayals of Dr. Robotnik consistently have had him be overweight, because that's part of his character design. He, you know, has a stomach that's kind of egg-shaped.
Yes.
Hence why he has the nickname Eggman. which I think originally was just his name in the Japanese version before they decided, well, we'll make his real name Dr. Robotnik.
There we go. There, now we can blast this rock to smithereens.
I guess I'll continue this after.
Now move it. That wall will explode, so we better get out of here.
Alright, so we're going through some kind of mine or something.
Let's see here.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we get to... Ooh.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I guess they added these little cutscenes for this version.
Yeah.
Which is good, because then you can kind of feel like you're getting something.
Yeah.
Alright. Yep.
Oh, the great sea is calling me.
Alrighty.
So yeah, well, we thankfully can't go anywhere from there, but you were saying that...
So yeah, apparently I'm not the only person who had this issue, and well, the third movie has finally decided to grace us with an overweight Dr. Robotnik.
Wow.
The problem I have with this is the framing of it. Now, I think I had told you before that I already kind of had an issue with them having Dr. Robotnik start out looking, I guess for lack of a better word, like a normal person. And just gradually looking more like the video game Dr. Robotnik. You know, like at the end of the first movie, he basically goes crazy because he's stuck in this mushroom world. So he shaves his head and I guess grows this weirdly shaped mustache.
Yes, unnecessary head shaving.
Yeah. So it sounds like in the third. So my biggest issue with this is a very painful trope to go with. It's harmful, and there are plenty of people who've made like long videos about this and why it's a bad trope. So brace yourself. You know, basically, after his last defeat from Sonic in the second movie, he has apparently been pretty depressed, having a terrible time, and it does not help that the article worded it this way, saying he had, quote, hit the carbs.
I'm not liking where this is going.
Yeah. So it seems like they're implying that he's been down and low because Sonic was able to have like this super powered form and completely defeat him when he thought he was at the peak of his power.
That blue hedgehog did that much emotional mental damage to Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah, again, apparently. And there's already been this harmful trope in movies where, like, a main character goes through this arc where they get depressed and they, quote, let themselves go. We saw it in The Incredibles. I have not seen this one, but apparently it happened to Thor before. I only know because of the video I watched about it. And you know, this is very harmful to people who are not thin. Because it's perpetuating this, if you're overweight, you must be depressed, or, like it's this negative thing if you've gained weight. By them constantly associating it with a character, being depressed or, suffering some kind of defeat. And then this is the result that they, get into the emotional eating and then they've gained weight. Yeah, so it's like, geez, Paramount. When I said I wanted to overweight Dr. Robotnik, I meant from the beginning.
Yeah.
I meant you should have had Jim Carrey wearing a fat suit and a bald cap from the beginning. Not gradually. Because I can't help it. To me, it came across as Jim Carrey needed convincing to actually look like Dr. Robotnik, because that's what I was saying to you, that I felt like the only reason he was thin is because maybe Jim Carrey refused to wear a fat suit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was literally my thought process. And it's like, I don't know, in my opinion, I felt like if you feel that way, don't play the character, I guess is how I felt. Because there is, I think, other than maybe one-off portrayal of him in the Archie comics, there is no canon thin Dr. Robotnik. Even in the comics, the thin Dr. Robotnik is not canon, so...
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, that's a problem. So here's my theory. I did stop reading, so I don't know if it actually was this way. If you guys know, if you've read a full, synopsis, but this is how I see it going. Or rather, how I feel like it would reasonably play out given the snippet I told you about. My honest theory is, okay, so he's down in the dumps and he thinks he'll never defeat Sonic, and so he'll never... I don't even know, does the Dr. Robotnik in the Sonic movies want world domination? I can't even tell. But he'll never achieve whatever evil plan he wants to achieve because he can't defeat Sonic. So he's down in the dumps, and he's been lounging around and picking up weight or whatever. I know, it's terrible. I hate that idea. But, so my guess is what happens is he stumbles across the diary of his grandfather, Professor Gerald Robotnik. And he hears mention of the Eclipse Cannon, and about it being this ultimate weapon.
Interesting.
And so he has this epiphany, and it's like, that's it. That could just be powerful enough to defeat Sonic, even in that super form. Because the Eclipse Cannon harnesses the energy of the 7 Chaos Emeralds. So if he's able to harness the 7 Chaos Emeralds before Sonic and use the Eclipse Cannon, he could defeat Sonic. So he's probably like, this is perfect. And somewhere along those lines, he ends up waking up Shadow, and then it kind of plays out the way it does in Sonic Adventure 2. That is my theory.
That's a good theory.
And a lot of that is me assuming they at least have a base knowledge of the plot of Sonic Adventure 2. Now, considering how they handled the plot of the second Sonic the Hedgehog movie, they could be going in a completely different direction.
Yeah, I've had that habit.
They could, completely forget the existence of the Eclipse Cannon and just have him read about Project Shadow and be like, perfect. I have my own Sonic, you know.
Yeah.
Because those of you who have played Sonic Adventure 2, or maybe watched Sonic X, I don't know, might remember that Dr. Robotnik didn't have the intention of waking Shadow up. He didn't really even know about Shadow.
Yeah.
And that's something I had to remind myself, too. Because it can get a little confusing, because throughout the game, the government is concerned with this Project Shadow. So you're always like, oh yeah, it's Shadow the Hedgehog. And that's what Rouge assumed, too. So you'd be okay in assuming that. But I remember, I was thinking back to Sonic Adventure 2, that Dr. Robotnik, the reason he was there was for the Eclipse King. Yeah. So his plan always involved the Eclipse King. So if I want to give Paramount the benefit of the doubt and think that they're, trying their best to match the story of Sonic Adventure 2, to me, depressed Dr. Robotnik would stumble upon his grandfather's notes about the Eclipse Cannon and think, that's it. That's what's powerful enough to defeat Sonic.
I think he needs to wait for a Paramount.
I know, if they didn't already have the full script already written, maybe I would go, hey guys, hire me. Maybe, I don't know, maybe when the movie comes out, if the movie's not like that, I'll write how it should have been written.
That'd be entertaining.
Yeah. Although that would involve a lot of me trying to go back and fix the first two, because those need to be rewritten.
Yeah, it could have done without the I was an adoptee joke.
Yeah.
No, don't think that is a spoiler warning, because I think everyone has seen Sonic movie 1.
Yeah, those who have seen any of them have probably seen the first one. Yeah, the whole thing about the weird joke about James Marsden's character being all like bragging about having parents, and he's like, oh great, make fun of the orphan. And I'm like, when did Dr. Robotnik ever, when was he ever stated to be an orphan?
That's what I want to know too.
And I honestly feel like Sonic Adventure 2 solidified him not being an orphan.
Yeah, he had a family.
And I, in fact, wanted them to go further. I wanted to know, at that point I was like hungry to know why Dr. Robotnik was evil. And I'm like, is it because of his grandfather? Is it because his grandfather lost his sanity and he read that diary and how those people treated him and Maria, and did that like cause him to resent people and think, I can make a better world?
That would logically make sense.
And that would have actually made him a sympathetic villain, which would be interesting, because you can have a completely evil villain and still give them a sympathetic backstory. It doesn't make them any less evil.
Hi, handsome. Why don't you stop by my pop's shop?
If the Earth crystal regains its glow, I'm sure the Earth will regain its vitality.
Interesting. I know we have crystals.
Earth crystal?
Yeah. Oh boy, look at them prices. Yeah, and I did shop around because I realized I needed important magic for our white mage, and I figured I should get our black mage.
Yeah.
Ice. Fire.
But anyway, if you guys read about, like, the rest of that article or knew about the rest of the synopsis, let me know. Am I close? Or are they going to go in a completely different direction like they did with the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie?
Yeah.
Which I swear the only reference to Sonic Adventure they did was having them be in that, like, ancient temple or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's all we get? Also, I kind of am annoyed at them because they kind of had the echidnas be villains, sort of.
Yeah, not to mention...
Because for some reason they're after Sonic.
They kind of went the stereotypical route, too.
Blast the crystals.
Yeah, I'm really annoyed that they made Knuckles, like, not know about modern technology. I'm like, guys, I know Knuckles lives on a floating island, but he constantly has to go to Earth to retrieve the Master Emerald whenever somebody tries to steal it. And he has to shatter it so that they won't just take the entire Master Emerald. I'm sure he at least knows modern technology is a thing, even if he doesn't, like, maybe know how it works 100%. So, yeah, they made him, like... They just made him come across as, like, this tribal person. Sorry. That's how it came across to me.
Yeah, it did.
That, like, didn't understand the modern world. And yeah, that really bothered me.
It bothers me too, to be honest.
Yeah. Yes, the guy who voiced him had a very smooth and sexy voice for him. I will give them that, but
Yeah.
I feel bad because I feel like a lot of the fans are like super hype and looking forward to this movie. And for me, it's just like I'm dreading it because I'm like, oh great, another part of the Sonic franchise is going to be dragged through the mud.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, just end it, you know. They said it's going to be a trilogy, so I'm like, just please let this be your final Sonic movie, but it probably won't be. I mean, they've already proven that because they have the Knuckles spin-off. They'll probably try to make a Shadow spin-off too. And it's like, please just end my misery right now, you know.
Yeah.
I feel bad because I feel like we're all buying into what we acted like we would never buy into, and that's Hollywood.
So do I.
Hollywood profiting off of our nostalgia for the video games we love without having the proper care for those franchises.
Right.
The Super Mario Brothers movie is a huge shining example of that. It made billions, rather, and it has terrible writing. It's rushed. It panders to the fans visually,
Uh-huh.
and that's about it.
I can't ignore that fact.
You know, they're voiced by celebrities that are popular, not necessarily celebrities that can do the characters well. And it's Illumination. It's like we all complained about Illumination, and they make a semi-decent Mario movie. So now we're gonna just blindly praise it.
Like sheep.
I mean, no offense, guys. That's just how I feel. And I know there are other people who have issues with the movie, but I feel like being on the internet, I feel like most of the Mario fans are like 95% positive about the Mario movie. And I feel alone. And when it comes to the Paramount Sonic movies, I don't really know the opinion of all of the fans, but from what I have seen anyway, from the vocal people, I would say the first one, they're like, eh. The second one, they're like, oh my god, that's great. And they're all hype about the third one. From the parts of the fandom I've seen, I don't really interact with a lot of the Sonic fandom. I've kind of been isolated from them for a very, 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 very long time. But at least from the vocal ones, that's what I'm seeing, is excitement and hype for it. And I just... First of all, I feel like I'm the only one who thinks the second of their movies is worse than the first. Because ironically, being less faithful to the franchise made the movie better. Whereas when they were actually trying to be faithful to the franchise and making mistakes, it hurt more. And that's why wow. Here we go again.
Yeah.
That's why I'm dreading the third movie, especially because Sonic Adventure 2 is my favorite. Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 are my favorite Sonic games, so...
It sounds like they're also skipping Sonic.
Yes, other than, some... me grasping at straws references to Sonic Adventure. They have not been confirmed. Like in the first movie, when Sonic was running up the skyscraper, I'm pretty sure that was ripped from Sonic Adventure. And in the second movie, they're in a temple. I'm pretty sure that idea was from Sonic Adventure. But the plot of Sonic Adventure, nah, completely ignored. No reference to Tikal, no reference to E102 Gamma. We have not seen Amy Rose yet. Whether she will appear or not, I don't know. I almost kind of hope she doesn't at this point, because it would feel really awkward to throw her into your movie that's mostly based on Sonic Adventure 2. I also pray we do not see Rouge. I'm sorry, those of you who want to see Rouge, but I don't want to see Rouge ruined too. It's like inevitable that they're gonna ruin Shadow. So I'm just like, please just do me this one solid and keep Rouge out of it. Keep Amy out of it too, please.
Yeah.
But Sonic Adventure has a very beautiful and, in my opinion, underrated story. So it is a shame that the Paramount movies are like, nah. We don't want this complicated pro-peace story. Whoops.
Yeah, I hate Hollywood for doing that.
Yeah.
Liberal Hollywood? What's the matter with pro-peace stories in our media?
We want the story where... I mean, if they do Sonic Adventure 2... any kind of justice, it does have a great story and great message. The problem is it's a big if.
Yes.
Because I'm not even sure if they understand the purpose of that story.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was a big deal for me, and it shaped a lot of how I not only approach stories, but how I approach the real world. That's how much of an impact it had on me. It showed me that there are not concrete lines between black and white. That circumstances can very easily change where you stand in life.
Yes.
Dr. Robotnik's grandfather was not an evil man. He is a man who became insane with grief and anger and the desire for revenge. That is what caused him to use this weapon he created for evil. And we're actually out of time, so we'll stop after this. And yeah, spoilers for those of you who haven't played Sonic Adventure 2. If you like the Sonic games even remotely, and have not played Sonic Adventure 2, I definitely recommend it. If you can get a hold of the original Dreamcast one, I would recommend that one first. That one's much better. Don't let the fact that it's older deteriorate. It is better. But if you have no other options, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle is a good port. I like the extra stuff they added. If you're into the Chow stuff, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle's a good game for that. Those of you who haven't played Sonic Adventure are probably like, what, Chow stuff? What are you talking about? It's kind of a little side thing you can do. Like a little virtual pet, if you will. But yeah, and I recommend Sonic Adventure.
Yes.
Some people are like, Sonic Adventure aged poorly. No, don't listen to them.
I wouldn't agree that Sonic Adventure aged badly. I'd say that fans probably had changed.
I thought you were going to say fans aged badly, and I was going to crack up.
Oh, that too, but for the most part.
Yes, we've been too spoiled.
Yeah.
I feel like, fans in general have been too spoiled by modern animation, so they go back and they look at Sonic Adventure and they're like, oh man, that looks like crap.
Yeah, and it's been unfair to them.
And it's not fair because it's like, okay, look at the other games that were out at that time.
Yeah.
And tell me again that it looks like crap.
Yeah.
I
dare you.
And also remember that even though it took till 1999 to come out over here, that it came out in late 1998 in Japan.
Yeah.
And then look at the other games that were out at that time in 1998, and then you tell me again that it looks like crap.
Yeah, it's no contrast, because the world had changed a lot from 98 to 99.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be also throwing a lot of beloved classics like Ocarina of Time under the bus, and no one would dare say Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, see, that's the other thing. We're very selective. Although I do know one person. I know one person who said that Ocarina of Time looks like crap.
Oh.
Although I think he specifically said Majora's Mask, but he also constantly whines about Ocarina of Time. But anyway, we probably do have to.
Yes, well, we're gonna be stopping after here. I just wanted to.
You want to get to a save.
Yeah, and we are. We just.
But thank you guys so much for coming and listening to me talk about Sonic. I know it's hilarious, but
that's the thing with our show.
I didn't grow up with Final Fantasy, so I would just be. Unless you want to hear me complain about 7 again, I could, but I think I would just piss everyone off.
Oh, yeah.
And, make everybody angry. I think I'm okay to say that this late in the video.
Yeah. Just saving the game and making money in the process.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to hear me say, I think 8's better, 7 is meh, 8 is better, I mean, it was the cutscenes of Final Fantasy 8 that blew me away when I was a kid, not Final Fantasy 7, so, there's that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for coming and listening to me rant on, and we will see you next time.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.